You buried me alive, but you forgot I was carrying seeds. And now look at me, I bloomed. Thought the silence meant I had surrendered. Thought every tear was proof that I was weak. You watched me disappear behind the damage, while I was finding what was left of me. I remember every door that slammed behind me, every promise turning into smoke, every person who said you'll never make it, every hand that let me go. I slept beneath the weight of disappointment, woke up underneath the mountain of regret. I was counting all the reasons I was finished, while my heart was saying, not yet, not yet. No, I wasn't finished. You saw a body breaking in the darkness, I saw a soul refusing to surrender. You thought the storm had taken everything, but storms don't last forever. And maybe I was buried by the people who were supposed to help me breathe. Maybe they mistook my quiet for surrender, but they never knew the roots beneath me. So let the dirt fall over me, let every lie become a stone. If this is where you thought I'd disappear, then watch what happens when I grow. They buried me alive, but I bloomed in the dark. They tried to kill the fire, but they couldn't touch the spark. They covered up my name, they counted me as gone, but every tear they made me cry became the rain I grew upon. You thought you buried me, you only planted me. They buried me alive, I bloomed. I gave my heart to people who were careless, told them every secret I had known. I showed them all the places I was fragile. They used my weakness as a stone. Funny how the ones who say they love you sometimes become the ones who make you bleed. They'll tell you that they know your every battle, then disappear exactly when you need. I waited for an apology that never came, waited for a hand to pull me out, but somewhere in that lonely waiting, I stopped waiting for them, and that's when everything changed. I stopped asking why they left me, stopped begging people to believe, stopped measuring my worth by who decided they could leave. You can lose 1,000 people and still find the one you need, yourself. And if you're listening right now, with somebody's name still hurting in your chest, listen carefully. Their rejection did not become your identity. Their goodbye wasn't your ending. Let them remember who I was. Let them keep the version that they broke. I don't need to prove I'm still alive. I'll let the life I build become the proof. They buried me alive, but I bloomed in the dark. They tried to kill the fire, but they couldn't touch the spark. They covered up my name, they counted me as gone, but every tear they made me cry became the rain I grew upon. You thought you buried me, you only planted me. They buried me alive. There were nights I couldn't recognize myself, staring at a stranger in the glass, trying to remember who I used to be before the fear became my past. My mind became a room without a window, every thought was screaming at the door. I kept fighting wars nobody noticed, then went outside pretending I was sure. I said I'm bed. One morning I opened up the curtains. One morning I realized I wanted to live again. I don't need to hide my scars anymore. I don't need to paint them gold. I don't need to pretend the pain was beautiful just because I survived it all. Some things hurt, some people leave, some memories never completely disappear. But surviving isn't forgetting, surviving is saying you didn't get the final word. They buried me alive, but I bloomed in the dark. They tried to kill the fire, but they couldn't touch the spark. They covered up my name, they counted me as gone, but every tear they made me cry became the rain I grew upon. They thought I needed sunlight just to learn how to survive, but I found a little light inside the darkest night. They buried me alive, and somehow I bloomed. And when I couldn't carry my own future, when my hands were shaking from the weight, I whispered one more prayer into the ceiling. If you're listening, please don't let me break. There was no lightning in the heavens, no voice that shook the walls around, just a strange and quiet feeling, like God wasn't falling anymore. Maybe faith isn't always fireworks. Maybe faith is taking one more step when you can't see the road. Maybe courage isn't feeling fearless. Maybe courage is moving. But my reflection, nobody heard the questions in my head. Nobody knew how many times I almost believed the awful things they said. They saw me walking, they assumed I wasn't hurting. Saw me smiling, thought the damage wasn't working. But I was carrying a wall beneath my heartbeat, building strength underneath every bruise. Every morning that I chose to keep on breathing was another battle I refused to lose. I stopped explaining why I changed, stopped defending every scar, stop trying to convince the people who had never seen how hard it was. I don't need their understanding, I don't need their sympathy, because the person I became in that darkness finally belongs to me. And that's the part they never understood. You can lose everything and still discover yourself. To everybody who abandoned me when my world was falling apart, I used to think you took my future. Now I know you only left me room to start. You took your love, you took your promises, you took the version of me you knew, but you couldn't take the lessons that I learned because of you. I remember every empty conversation, every I'll be there that disappeared. Every time I needed somebody beside me and found nobody standing near. But loneliness became my teacher, silence became my friend, and somewhere between the crying and accepting that it ended, I learned how to stand again. So I won't curse you, I won't chase you, I won't ask you to return. Some bridges have to disappear so you can finally see the road you were too afraid to learn. There was a night I sat beside the window, watching headlights disappear into the rain, wondering if tomorrow would be different, or just another copy of the pain. I whispered, how much longer again. Everything I wanted. Maybe faith was holding on when I couldn't understand it. Maybe God was in the silence. Maybe grace was in the waiting. Maybe every closed door I was crying over was protecting me from staying. I thought I was being forgotten. Maybe I was being redirected. I thought my life was falling apart. Maybe something better was being resurrected. So I walked through the valley with my fear beside my feet, and every step I thought would break me made my heart beat stronger underneath. Now I walk differently, not because life became easier, because I became stronger. I don't panic when somebody leaves. I don't beg when somebody changes. I don't shrink myself just to make somebody comfortable. I spent too many years trying to be enough for everybody else. Now I'm learning how to be enough for the person staring back at me. And if they call it selfish, let them. If protecting my peace makes me distant, let them. If choosing myself makes me different, good. Because I spent so long surviving that I forgot what living felt like. Now I'm taking my life back, one breath at a time. They thought the pain would make me better. It made me honest. They thought betrayal would make me heartless. It made me careful. They thought loneliness would make me empty. It taught me how to fill my own silence. They thought failure would make me disappear. It taught me how to begin again. Every wound they gave me became a lesson I carried. Every goodbye they forced upon me became a door I finally opened. Every time they counted me out, I counted one more reason to rise. And now they look at me like they don't recognize my face. Of course they don't. They only knew the version of me that they could control. I grew and nobody but flowers could survive. Through concrete, through cold, through darkness, through nights that felt like forever. I didn't bloom because life was gentle. I bloomed because I refused to die inside. I grew around the broken places. I turned my scars toward the sunlight. I don't panic when somebody changes. I don't shrink myself just to make somebody comfortable. I spent too many years trying to be enough for everybody else. Now I'm learning how to be enough for the person staring back at me. And if they call it selfish, let them. I've been waiting years to know. I said I'm sorry that I abandoned you just to keep somebody else around. I'm sorry that I called the cruelty love. I'm sorry I forgot your sound. She didn't answer, she didn't have to. The tears were saying everything. I touched the glass with trembling fingers and finally recognized the girl beneath the grief. She wasn't weak, she was waiting. She wasn't empty, she was healing. And every piece I thought I lost forever was still breathing. They loved me when my smile was effortless. Love me when I never needed anything. Love the version who could hide the hurting and make everybody else feel safe. But when the darkness reached my doorstep, when I finally needed someone to stay, suddenly my pain became inconvenient and their love became a word they couldn't say. That's when I learned a painful lesson. Some people love your sunshine but disappear when you're the storm. They don't love the whole of who you are. They love the version that asked them for nothing more. So I stopped begging to be understood. I stopped shrinking to be chosen. I'd rather walk alone with an honest heart than be surrounded by people who only love me when I'm broken quietly. I carried everybody else's expectations like stones inside a paper chest. Every you should, every you could, every voice telling me what was best. I became the daughter of everybody's approval, the friend who never said no, the person who would bleed in silence just to keep the peace at home. But peace that costs your identity isn't peace, it's disappearance. So I put the weight down one stone at a time, and for the first time in forever, I could finally feel my own heartbeat without everybody else's voice inside it. There was a season, no body photograph, no beautiful memories, no celebrations, no evidence that I was becoming somebody new. Just cold mornings, empty rooms, and a heart learning patience. I wanted flowers immediately. Life gave me roots. I wanted answers immediately. Life gave me questions. I wanted the miracle. Life gave me the process, and I hated every second of it, until one day I realized the roots were the miracle. Because while I was crying about not growing, I was growing where nobody could see me. Darkness taught me how to listen. Silence taught me what mattered. Loss taught me what was temporary. Pain taught me what was real. Failure taught me how to begin. And loneliness taught me that my own company was never something I needed to fear. I used to run from empty rooms. Now I sit inside them peacefully, because the silence doesn't scare me anymore. I've already met myself there. I've already cried there. I've already prayed there. I've already rebuilt there. So darkness, you don't frighten me. I know where you went. They said my name like it was something disposable, like I was easy to replace, like the years we shared could vanish without leaving a trace. But names don't disappear because somebody stops saying them, and stories don't end because somebody walks away. I carried my name through every broken season. I carried it through the shame. I carried it through the questions. I carried it when I didn't recognize myself. And now I say it differently, not with fear, not with apology, but with pride. Because I know what it cost to become the person wearing it. And if you're listening from your bedroom with your phone lighting up the dark, if you're fighting something nobody knows about, if you're smiling during the day and falling apart when everybody leaves, I need you to hear this part. You don't have to become healed Who's going to thank you for surviving this night? My first flower didn't look like victory. It looked like getting out of bed. My second looked like saying no. My third looked like deleting the number I kept hoping would call. My fourth looked like sleeping peacefully without waiting for an apology. My fifth looked like blasting the number I'm feeling guilty about it. That's when I understood. Pass, like maybe they'd remember me. I rehearsed conversations that would never happen. Imagine them coming back and finally saying what I needed. I was wrong, I should have stayed. I should have seen you. 3 sentences I waited years to hear, but healing came when I realized I didn't need their voice anymore. Because one morning I woke up and the room was still empty. But somehow I wasn't. I was there. I had survived myself, and for the first time, that was enough. I called my life a curse because I couldn't understand the pain. I called every closed door punishment, called every goodbye rejection, called every delay failure. But maybe I was looking at the wrong side of the story. Maybe the door closed because I was trying to enter a room that was never meant for me. Maybe they left because I was holding on to people who were blocking the road ahead. Maybe the season ended because I was supposed to grow. Maybe the pain wasn't proof that I was forgotten. Maybe it was proof that I was being changed. And suddenly, the same scars I hated became the map that led me home. There are people who will never know how close I came to giving up. They'll never know how many mornings I smiled with tears behind my eyes. They'll never know how many nights I whispered, please, just let tomorrow be different. They'll never know how hard it was to become this person. And that's okay. Not every battle needs an audience. Not every victory needs applause. Some victories are private. Some victories are simply getting through another night without becoming the person your pain wanted you to become. So I stopped asking the world to witness my healing. I started healing because I wanted my life back. Still remember the old me. She apologized for breathing too loudly. She apologized for needing love. She apologized for having boundaries. She apologized when people hurt her. She thought being chosen was more important than being respected. She thought loneliness was worse than being mistreated. I wish I could reach backward through time and hold her hand. I tell her, you don't have to earn your place. You don't have to become smaller. You don't have to accept crumbs because you're afraid of an empty table. You are allowed to leave. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to become somebody they never expected. And maybe that's exactly what I did. There was a life I thought I lost. The plans, the promises, the future I pictured, the person I thought I'd become. I mourned all of it. I thought my story was over because the future I wanted disappeared. But nobody told me that sometimes life gives you a second beginning after your first dream dies. So I started again, different, wiser, scarred, but alive. And this time I wasn't building a life to impress anybody. I was building one I actually wanted to live. I forgave them, then I forgave myself. But forgiving myself was harder because I blamed myself for staying too long. Blamed myself for for ignoring the warning signs. Blamed myself for believing promises that were never gonna be kept. Blamed myself for loving people who didn't know how to love me back. But I was doing the best I could with the heart I had at the time. So I stopped punishing the person I used to be. She didn't know what I know now. She was trying to survive, and maybe she deserves compassion too. Then came a morning that didn't feel like a battlefield. I opened the curtain, sunlight touched the floor. No bad news, no desperate thoughts, no waiting for somebody to call, just silence and birds outside the window. I stood there crying, not because I was broken, because I realized I had finally reached a place where peace didn't feel suspicious. I didn't know happiness could feel so quiet. I didn't know healing could sound like nothing. No screaming, no begging, no running, just breathing. And for once, and if they ever come back, I won't hate them, but I won't become the old version of myself just to make them comfortable. I can forgive you without reopening the door. I can love the memory without returning to the pain. I can wish you well without wishing you were here. Some endings deserve respect. Some doors deserve to stay